Yeah, good morning. It is crazy. It was like probably about 7:30, and we are sitting in the city of Netanya, just over at the David Tower. Beautiful, beautiful spot. And they got the spread out for us, man. It's beautiful. And so we just sitting, chilling, eating, getting ready for the day. I'm still tired, but I had a good night's sleep. And so, yeah, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Looking forward to the day.
Is that on the very front rows down here, we have original stone from the original theater that Herod built. We have also stones in the orchestra area that the archaeologists validate were here during the time of the Apostle Paul in the 1st century. So briefly, Herod was a great builder, as you well know, and Rome came into power here in 63 BC after a short 100 years of Jewish rule in the intertestamental period. And so obviously when Rome, this is that on the very front rows down here, we have original stone from the original theater that Herod built. We have also stones in the orchestra area that the archaeologists validate were here during the time of the Apostle Paul in the 1st century. So briefly, Herod was a great builder, as you well know, and Rome came into power here in 63 BC after a short 100 years of Jewish rule in the intertestamental period. And so obviously when Rome took over, they had obviously their own authorities, leadership, and so forth. So Caesarea becomes the base of Roman authority in the land. Yes, Jerusalem was important, but in Jerusalem, because it was a religious city and to try not to necessarily offend the Jews, they didn't have the statues and all these kinds of things. But here, Herod wanted to build a city that would reflect Roman culture, and so here he sets out to build this city, 22 BC. It's an interesting thing. Herod was a genius. He was a demonic person, but also a genius at the same time, because he builds this elaborate city, and he builds the most extensive functioning harbor in this part of the world through techniques that had really heretofore not ever been employed.
JFK of the Gospels. Everybody understands that? Very good. And now I want you to think. You come here, and again, Peter, Paul, and Cornelius. But wait a minute. Let us go for a moment to Jerusalem. Rabbi, when you're gone, what do we do? And Jesus says, wait until the Holy Spirit will descend upon you. Very good. And now, Pentecost, what in reality is the festival of Shavuot, which is the time of the giving of the Torah. And I'm going to talk about that more in Jerusalem when we are there, because it's important to understand the Jewish festival. You say Pentecost, but you are not understanding fully what is happening in Jerusalem, and why that festival, and what is happening in the temple. And I want you to be able to put together those two pieces of information. So, this is the green light for the disciples to go into the world. Isn't that correct? So, from where do the disciples are going to be living to go into the world?
From where? Here.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Why? Because this is the JFK. Excellent.
Wow.
I I want you to go home reading the Jewish way, which is to ask questions. Why does the Bible tell me this? Why do I care that in the Sea of Galilee they are going to catch 153 fishes? Why can't they say many? And the answer to that is that 153 means I am the Lord. Okay? So it's important that we understand that. So all the disciples, even though they are not mentioned in the Bible, we know they are going to be here. Why? Because this is the JFK at the time of Jesus. Cornelius, why do I have a centurion here? Any ideas? Why do I have a centurion here? Why? But why? Why? Because Caesarea, at the moment it's built and we have the port, this is going to become the main port of entrance to the land of Israel. Means that everybody that comes here will have to pay taxes. Where in the Gospels we find another person like Cornelius? Another centurion. Where, and you all know it, where in the Gospels do we find another centurion? Capernaum. 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 Why do we have a centurion in Capernaum? Because Capernaum at the time of Jesus is the border town between a country called Galilee and a country called Golan. The Jordan River is going to be the border between the Galilee and the Golan. So when you are in the Galilee, the last town in the Galilee is going to be Capernaum. What is the profession of Matthew? Tax collector. Why? Because border town taxes have to be paid. Here, you come into the land, you have to pay taxes. And now, and with this I finish, otherwise we have to keep going.
So yeah, this Caesarea, named after Caesar Augustus, and like I said, the Roman government lived in this area. The Roman leaders lived in this area, lived lavish lifestyles, partied, had fun. They had a theater here, had the chariot races here, and it was a port that pretty much was made for the area. One of the first man-made ports. And the crazy part is that, you know, Philip, he came and preached here. Peter preached to Cornelius and was baptized nearby. Paul visited here in Acts 9:30 and was later imprisoned in this city. And so, yeah. So you see this right here? Pretty much what it is this is a replica of the stone that was uncovered, pretty much proving that there was a ruler by the name of Pontius Pilate, and we know him from as the Roman leader who presided over the trial of Jesus. And so this was actually discovered here, and the actual stone it's in a museum in the area, so this is just a replica, but just thought that was cool.
Was the fact that Matthew was attacking collector, but you never really understand
what kind of impact that has and why he had to be a tax collector, right?
Huge impact when you go
Right.
back and read. You know,
right,
when
exactly.
Jesus called and said, Matthew, follow me and I'll make you become fishers of men, the type of job he left.
Right. So if you can see in front of me, this is called the Hippodrome. Hippodrome. I'm not sure if I said that right, but pretty much this is where the chariot races were being held, and pretty much you can see the Romans would do all kinds of their games in here. So yeah, just want to step on it. I know it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So what you're looking at now is actually I'm standing in an aqueduct. It's really cool. Like, I don't know if you can see, like you can see the archways. Pretty much it's a water system that was created and is just a piece of it. I mean, obviously it's not all of it, but it's just a piece. And look at this though. It's like, it's amazing. And it sits right on the Mediterranean. See the Mediterranean Sea behind me? Look at that. Come on now. That's cool. Get all that. Look at that. Look at that.